Good evening, Southeast Texas. Welcome to 12 News at 10. I'm Amelia White. Let's get straight into breaking news here. We're seeing a record number of hospitalizations in Southeast Texas right now. 241 people are hospitalized in Jefferson County. As of today, there are 326 new cases reported and 10 new COVID deaths. An update on Governor Abbott. Days after testing positive for COVID-19, the governor has now tested negative. He made this announcement on his Twitter. The governor says he will remain in quarantine on doctor's orders. He says his infection was, quote, brief and mild due to having the COVID-19 vaccine.
I encourage others who have not yet received the vaccination to consider getting one. My wife also continues to test negative.
Governor Abbott says while he's in quarantine, he'll continue to work on important issues in Texas, including opening infusion centers for antibody treatments across the entire state of Texas. Speaking of infusion center, things are gearing up. The infusion center off of East Tech Freeway in Beaumont could open in a matter of days. It will offer Regeneron treatments to folks who test positive for the virus. The treatment is meant for folks early on in their sickness to diminish the effects of the virus and keep them from ending up in hospitals with more serious symptoms. The center should help alleviate the burden on hospital staff. The Reverend Jesse Jackson and his wife Jacqueline have been hospitalized after testing positive for COVID-19, according to a statement on Saturday. He is vaccinated against the virus and publicly received his first dose in January. The two are being treated at a Northwestern Memorial Hospital in Chicago. Their son, Jonathan Jackson, said in a statement, quote, doctors are certainly monitoring the condition of both. Jackson says he'll provide updates as soon as they're available. To Hurricane Grace now, the storm hit Mexico's Gulf Shore as a major Category 3 storm before weakening today, drenching coastal and inland areas in the second landfall in the country in 2 days. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said Grace had maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. At least 8 people were killed and 3 more are missing. Meteorologists expect Grace to become a tropical depression overnight and dissipate tomorrow. And Christiana is in our Storm Tracker Center right now to give us a look at the tropics.
Well, it looks like Grace did weaken, so we are seeing a low-end remnants of Grace as it moves towards the Pacific. It is forecasted to strengthen as it moves over the Pacific Ocean, but you're seeing still disorganized showers there. It's sustaining 25-mile-per-hour winds, still moving west at 13 miles per hour. Hurricane Henry is moving into the coastline of Long Island and Connecticut, so it's going to steer off the coast of Maine. That is tomorrow. It will be making landfall as a hurricane, as a very high-end hurricane, and then or a low-end hurricane and a high-end tropical storm. Either or, it does weaken pretty quickly as it continues to move over into the mountains, and then it looks like it is a tropical depression as we head into early next week. So not going to be any problems for us. We are monitoring a disturbance out in the eastern Atlantic, and it has very low chances of development. We'll give you more on the tropics coming up.
An industrial fire in North Harris County kept more than 60 firefighters busy for most of the day. Crews are still there now, putting out the hot spots. A shelter-in-place order was issued as firefighters worked to get the flames under control. The fire started around 9:30 this morning, forcing everyone within a half-mile radius to either leave the area or shelter in place. The massive cloud of smoke could be seen for miles. A lack of water supply in the area made putting out the fire difficult, so crews had to request tankers to assist as they fought to keep it under control. Investigators say their next priority is finding how this happened and why.
Believe me, we're going to be looking at this more going forward, particularly this particular site and what it was permitted to do, what it was not permitted to do. So we're looking into those details now.
The fire marshal has issued a stop order on the processing plant. KHOU reports that the fire crews will remain at the scene, most likely throughout the night, to make sure the site stays secure. A crime alert coming from Beaumont. Police are still looking for 2 men who they believe tried to rob a store, shooting 2 clerks in the process. It happened on College and Amarillo Street at Katie's Video Store. Police say two men who appear to be in their late teenage years or early 20s walked in with guns demanding money. Both the suspects and employees started shooting. Two employees were hit and taken to the hospital. One is currently stable. Police say the other is in critical condition. Police believe these two are also connected to another robbery that happened at a Western store on College Street. This is surveillance footage from that robbery last Friday. The suspects fled in a maroon-sized SUV. If you know any information, contact Crime Stoppers at 833-TIPS. Scenes of chaos and desperation in Afghanistan as U.S. works to get Americans and Afghan allies out of Kabul. The Biden administration promised all Americans will get out, and flights out to Kabul paused for a time on Friday, but planes are once again taking off from the Kabul airport. Here's ABC Elizabeth Shozel with the details.
The U.S. Embassy in Afghanistan is now advising Americans to avoid traveling to the Kabul airport without individual instructions from a U.S. government representative, citing potential security threats outside the airport gates.
We have said from the very beginning of this that we're going to try to do this in a safe and orderly way, and that means making sure that nobody gets hurt to the maximum extent possible.
The warning comes one day after President Biden made this promise.
Any American who wants to come home, we will get you home.
The president acknowledged the dangers American troops now face amid the chaotic and violent scenes on the streets of Kabul.
We've seen gut-wrenching images of panicked people acting out of sheer desperation.
One of those images, this infant being handed to American troops over razor wire. Officials confirming the baby has been reunited with his father at the airport. And this young girl begging to be let in. U.S. citizen David Fox is stuck in Kabul with his wife and child, turned away after reaching the airport.
The airport is very dangerous. So the Taliban enforcers had these, big rubber bands. I think they're called like motor fan belts. I actually got whacked with, with one of these fan belts for not moving fast enough.
Evacuation flights were paused for 8 hours Friday after the transit facility in Qatar reached capacity. The Pentagon confirming 6 military C-17 flights and 32 charters departed Kabul on Saturday, with a total of 3,800 passengers. Flights are now once again headed to Qatar and other destinations. 3 flights arrived in Washington, D.C. Friday night, carrying Afghans headed to Fort Bliss in Texas. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
After the break, Sha'Carri Richardson hit the track again today with a race outcome no one was expecting, but she says she's not giving up just yet.